All right, so this is episode 7, and it's part of a series of kind of trying to help out businesses, point out easy things to do to change, little things that make big changes later on, right? In the last episode, we talked about like the physical presence of the business and its brand through vehicles and signage,
uniforms,
Yep.
sales,
how they appear, how they act, how they how they respond to inquiries, that sort of thing. So now we're going to talk about like new ideas that we're seeing businesses do that we think are just getting it right now. So they're getting closer to making it, so that's it. So the episode isn't really necessarily about like mistakes, right, that we're making or that we've seen people make. It's about like what's working right now. So we're kind of trying to like focus on those things and like what can you do now. We've kind of like focused on like what you need to do or what needs to be done. Now it's like what are those things that can like just work for you at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
So there's some businesses out there that we've noticed that are just kind of like, I don't know, they don't brag about what they're doing, right? As far as like they found the thing that's working for them. But if you pay attention to it, you'll notice that they're just kind of like quietly doing that and it's working, right? So I think some of the stuff that I see out there with businesses is they consolidate their messaging, right? So cleaner messaging, right? That's back to that clarity. And fewer offers, more value, right? What comes to mind for me there are certain brands that will text me almost daily, if not.
Oh, I get some that are like multiple times a day.
And what do you get in those texts?
Well, I don't look at them. I just ignore them.
Why don't you look at them?
It's chaos.
It is chaos. Like, what's the message that they're trying to deliver to you?
They're just pushy. They're pushing.
Trying to get you to buy something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's 20% off today.
Yeah, it'll be 20% off tomorrow. Yeah.
3 months later, it's 20% off. Like, they're just hoping that you're like going to break down.
Or at that point, you might actually need something, right?
And that's like an old way of marketing a business, right? And I don't know how effective it is anymore. I don't think it's getting better. It's I get True Work texts all the time, and there's so many offers and no value now. And that's a brand that started off, and the reason I started following them is because they offered a lot of value, right? They were like, look at this. They had their contrarian beliefs in their brand, right? So they were like, we're a clothing line that's made for work. And it's not just because they're like making their stuff out of thicker material that stops chainsaws or whatever craziness, right? But like, because it was, easier to move around in their work pants, right? And all these things, they had their, like, we do it different because, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I started following them. And that's why I was interested in when they came out with a new thing. I was like, oh, what does that do different? And how can I use that? And, oh, that's cool that they moved that pocket because that pocket is better here than there. And I could do this with it. Like, we got pants that I can keep a little knife in, and my NT cutter blade goes right inside of their work pencil pocket on their pants. And it's perfect, right? Mm-hmm. And like, I have a tool belt that I use too when I wrap cars, but my knife kind of gets moved around, or sometimes I'm lazy and I don't put it right back into that pocket because it's hard in my tool belt, and then it's in the bin, right? And I've got like, a couple of different squeegees in there. I've got tucking tools. I've
maybe a tape measure,
tweezers, picking tool, like all these dumb things in there. And I'm just shoving my hands into them trying to figure out what's going on. But if I use that pocket, I got my knives on me all the time. So like function was it. Like, so they always say like form follows function, right? So function has to happen first, and then you know what your thing's going to look like. Mm-hmm. That's a good design principle. Their messaging to me has shifted over the last like 2 years. And I'm on the verge of just like blocking their text messages now, because all it is offer. Like, please buy from me, please buy from me, please buy from me. But I don't see any of the value coming to me.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain brands out there that are interesting right now because they offer value without the expectation of a return, right? And I think that that is it's kind of like a noble thing, right? And I see that as like I trust that person because they aren't trying to sell me something right
Right.
now. And the sneaky move that happens off of all of this is I've bought things from people that aren't trying to sell me things, which is weird, right? They they just
But it's because you don't have the in your face chaos.
yeah,
It's like they're giving you a message, but it's not buy me, buy me, buy me. So then you're more interested in exploring it. And then once you explore, you're like, oh, this is pretty cool.
yeah.
You know?
What I've done is I've learned about that person's values and belief systems, and if I align with them, I agree with them. And if they have something that is out there where I can more align myself with it, be it I'm paying for it or not, right? Like I'm more inclined to pay for that system
Mhm.
and do that. Like I'm in one right now. Like we meet weekly, and it's a person that gave me a lot of value over the last year and a half, 2 years. And
Didn't ask for anything in return.
what's weird about it is like I don't mind paying what I'm paying for the service because I feel like I already kind of owe it anyways because of what I've already gotten,
Mhm.
right? So if you're a brand that can give something of value without the expectation of a sale happening in exchange, but just something out there that's just going to help a business, right? Essentially, that's what this is,
Yeah.
right? I
Right.
wanted to do something where like I don't pause the video to say like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Like I don't care about the likes or the subscriptions on this. Like if there's 10 people that watch it and two people find a decent amount of value out of the videos that we're recording, and
Cool.
if they decide to do business with us because of these recordings, then that's cool. But I'm not like the sale is supposed to happen when everything is in alignment and it just feels right.
Mhm.
Right. Like I have to find a business who sees the value in branding the correct way,
Mhm.
is willing to pay for proper, installation techniques and materials and things like that. Right. And then their beliefs are in line with my beliefs. And that's when it happens. And
Ta-da.
it's a two-way street. Like, yes, when we sell a wrap, we make money, right? We have to make money in order to stay in business and keep offering the service that we offer. But educating ourselves about our own product and what it does, we know that if it's done right, it makes our clients more money. And if I can make my clients more money, guess what? They
You
see the value in it
Mhm.
and they come back and they do more with us, right?
Well, and
So,
sometimes too, it's not even it's not our battle to fight. Like we can give the tools and give the advice, and sometimes people just aren't ready to either step back and become vulnerable and see that there needs to be change, or they can't see the value at that time.
yeah,
But that doesn't mean that like you haven't built a relationship with them and that it won't come back, that
yeah,
they will come back, and when the time is right for them, like he's saying, when things align, like you're not always gonna meet on the road the first time.
yeah. Well, and there's certain like we aren't the fixers of things for your brand, right?
No.
Like the person that owns the brand needs to be the implementer of the things that change it in a positive way.
Well, it's like when you have a bad habit.
Yeah,
If everybody around you can tell you how much you need to stop doing whatever that habit is, but until you realize you need to stop doing what that bad habit is, there won't be change.
yeah, and you have to be at a breaking point
Someone
where
can't
you're
change
fed up
you.
enough.
Someone can't change you for you. You have to change
Yeah,
yourself, right?
right.
So,
Or the fact that you can see that that habit isn't isn't affecting your life positively, and you need to change that
and that's
habit.
the
Right.
why sometimes they're just not ready.
Yeah.
Like that's where that
Right.
plays into
Yeah.
effect.
So these brands out there too, like we're talking about, like these text messages, for instance, that we get that style of marketing that are asking us to buy things or saying things are 50% off that
It's
they have
always
no
a
idea that
sell.
I want to buy,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's
always a
ask,
sell.
ask, ask,
Yep.
right? Um, but the quality of that communication that I get is not very good because it isn't purposeful and directed. Like I haven't gone to TrueWorks website in months, and they're telling me that these pants are on sale.
Well, you miss out on when there might actually be a good deal in there every once in a while, right? Maybe not from Truework, but other
Yeah,
places, right? Because I see that, like,
you
but I
ignore it.
miss it because I'm ignoring the 99 other
Yeah,
times that you tell me crap's
yeah,
on sale that I don't need.
yeah,
And then that 100th time,
yeah.
it's a missed
So
opportunity for me.
so what if there is a better quality of communication that just gave you value by educating you about why the thing that they want to sell is better. And then every once in a while, it's okay. You can throw something out there that
Sure.
says, like, this is on sale right now,
Hmm.
right? But don't have your this is on sale 100 times and your why should you buy this or why I'm better 2 times. Like that's a hard thing to analyze. And I think a lot of marketing agencies out there just think if you hit somebody over the head enough,
They're going to
like
give in,
somebody's gonna
but
give
you're
in.
muddying the water, in my opinion.
Or
Like
you're spamming so many people that it's okay because 3 bought and 1,000 got text messages or something,
but
right?
you're muddying the water because
Yeah.
you're diminishing the meaning of your message at that point.
Muddying your water or diluting your brand. So one of the other things that happened with me is I get so many offers from that company that I know that in October and November, their stuff is 30% off. And after the holiday season, when they sold all their gift cards at the 10, 20, 15%
Everything
off,
goes to
whatever it
regular
is,
price.
now everything's
Nothing's on
regular
sale.
price. So guess what? Now I'm not going to buy, even though I might want to buy or need to buy. I just don't feel like I'm getting a warm, fuzzy deal because you
Mhm.
just told me your pricing is lower, 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 lower. And now when I go to look at it, I'm like, ugh. Like I've not bought things before because I'm an over analytical purchaser. You'll say
Yes,
that.
100%.
So I research the crap out of something. And as I'm doing it, I'm kind of like looking at like, is it a good buy now or should I wait or whatever, right? And I've been on the cusp of buying something and decided no for one reason or another, got distracted, didn't buy it. And then when I come back, it's more. And I go like, I just don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like
There went the warm fuzzies.
so your marketing actually worked against you in that respect. Like you didn't build enough value in the product for me to say I still want it because it's going to make my life better somehow, whatever that
Right.
is. Now I just feel like I've been slighted because I know you can sell it for less, but you're not right now, right? So that's
Mhm.
that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
So you're diluting your brand at that point too.
Mhm.
You're taking the value away from it and you're diluting it. You
Yep.
know. So
And it does affect the trust, I think,
it
and
does.
how somebody feels about what you
Well,
sell or what you do.
sold cars.
Yeah.
You want to know, like the worst thing in the world was at the end of the month, there's a better deal than at the beginning of.
And what happens to all the people who have already bought a car at the beginning of the month?
They
And then
don't
they
trust me.
see, yeah, then they
Yeah,
see these crazy
and
deals to
yeah,
meet a number of cars that need to be
oh,
sold. Like, yeah, that's
and
a gut punch.
worst feeling in the world, right? So like two neighbors drive the same truck, right? And I've sold both neighbors their trucks, and they're mowing their lawn one day, and somehow they talk about their truck payment, right? And if one's paying more money than the other one, but it's the exact same truck and they bought it 3 months different from each other or whatever, like that happens.
Yeah.
Like that makes you not want to trust that brand. And like think about that. So it was, for a specific brand of truck that I sold.
Uh huh.
I know that in the future, I had customers that were switching to competitive brands because they were like, well, I don't know if this is the best deal right now.
But you know what's funny about that?
They
So
killed
that
it.
it's not on you personally
No.
because you're working for somebody. So that goes back to the things we've talked about in previous podcasts with the hierarchy, and that starts at the top. So
Yeah.
that company isn't providing the tools to the
Yeah.
people that it needs to. So then you are working in chaos because you don't have consistent,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what I
The
mean? Like,
automotive world is like super notorious for the now or never kind of
yeah,
thing.
but it's not fair
Buy
to
or
you as a
die.
salesperson
Yeah.
who's trying to help the customer,
Yeah.
every time when you
Yeah.
don't have consistent tools.
Yeah. So that word consistent too, right? Like so the consistency of your brand across mediums and across the timeline of how you market yourself, right? This is something that we're working on. We've found that being a smaller business where we're responsible for a lot of all of the aspects of the business, we get distracted and we'll let off of certain good practices for a while, right? And one of them is like posting on social media, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel exhausted about posting on social media because it's like you're taking pictures of what you're doing and what you're working on and finished projects and you're putting them out there. And it does drive growth for sure. Like we see that. But it's probably a 90-day cycle. Like if you go into a good, this is what we're doing and educating customers on the different things that you're offering, it takes about 90 days for that to like snowball and then catch up. And then all of a sudden you've got work coming in, you know?
Mhm.
But then when you get all that work coming in, I use the analogy that like we were like a whale, and like we'd come up to the surface and we'd get all these new leads, new customers, and we'd start working on all the things, which would cause us to dive down and start like getting into design and production and scheduling, follow up and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we would do all the work, right? And then you're down at the bottom and you're like, I need more air, I need more work, I need more
Mhm.
leads. So what you do is you start coming up to the surface again, and then you start a whole cycle again. So what are
Mhm.
those things that you can do to try and smooth out that wave, that up and down, that ebb and flow of business? And you're crazy. And what are we going to do next? We don't have enough customers coming through, right?
And maybe some of that is like we're trying to work on too is not always posting what we've done, but
Hmm.
more posting about who we are and what we do, right?
Yeah.
So that I think can help fill some of that gap because if they're not seeing whatever you're posting, if that's not something that they need, right,
Yep.
then it doesn't apply to them. But if you're posting things and you're talking about your brand and who you are and what you do, you might catch people that
Yeah.
need something,
Right.
right? Or want to use you for something.
Yeah. Um, and then just having other touch points out there too. Like one of the things that we have now that is going to be a big tool for us is the brand strength app,
Mhm.
right? So we can send that to anybody and they can self evaluate what they have going on in their brand. And it gives them the key areas that they need to focus on
Right.
to round out that wheel, like we talked about before.
Mhm. And that is a
And
judgment tool as a like use it so that you know what
yeah,
aspects of your brain you need to work on so that we can then help you,
yeah.
figure out those areas.
And the cool part about some of those things as touch points is like I want touch points that are going to be like evergreen, right? That meaning of like they never go out of season.
Mhm.
Like this is always going to be a thing. And working on your brand in these key areas is always in
Mhm.
season. No matter what happens with business
Absolutely.
in the next 100 years, those are going to be the things that are still a focus of business
Yep.
and well-rounded business,
Mhm.
right? So that's another tool that we have. So like think about like other ways rather than just spamming somebody on text or whatever. Um, make a video like this where you're just giving away value, right?
Mhm.
So you're educating your customer base so that when they come to work with you, they're already educated. They already have some alignment with your brand, and now it doesn't feel like an awkward, hey, I don't know what you do. Can you help me here
Yeah.
brand thing?
Who you
It's
are and they
this
know
is
what you
what's
do.
going on. Yep,
Be
totally.
evolutionary, not revolutionary.
That's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so then using that physical branding strategically. So, I would say, you know, smart businesses are marketing um online, and their marketing online complements their physical branding then too.
Mhm.
So one of the things that we're working with right now is just like simple ads to throw out there. And there's a lot of tools that just happened in the recent like I don't know, 2 months
Yeah.
that like Google's doing crazy things right now where they're buying up companies that are heavily invested in AI tech stacks, and they are stacking them for you so that you don't need to have five different things and bop between all these different things. It's like one altogether um, that can help you with your brand translating from the physical to a lot of the marketing that's out there. And what was the one? It's Pomelo, Pomeli,
Pomeli.
Pomeli. I always say Pomelo, and then
Yeah,
when you
like the
really
fruit.
get into fruit,
Mhm.
yeah. So Pomeli is a pretty cool thing where you can actually just put your website in, and as long as you've done those previous steps we talked about, where like you match across everything, your website should match everything else that you're doing. So you give it a URL, it looks at your website, it knows what you're about because your website should say what you're about, right?
Mhm.
And it takes even imagery off of your website, your brand colors and your logo and everything, and it will create ad campaigns for you. And you describe the ad campaign that you want. Like if I want to run an ad campaign for just my fleet vehicle services, I'll type in one prompt. I need a campaign for Got It Made that's going to advertise and highlight fleet vehicle services and target businesses with fleets of 7 to 20 vehicles, whatever it is, right? And all of a sudden it'll pop up 4 slides with imagery that's either it's AI generated sometimes if it's not pulling it off your website and it's using like Google's Nano Banana Pro, and the text, the copy is already there for the tone and the messaging, and it's formatted. You can tell what format you want, like this is going to
So
live
cool.
on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, right? And I can just iterate on that and say, this is close to what I want, and I can change them. So if I like the direction of the image, but I can tell it's an AI image and I don't really like it, now I can refine that image, or I can substitute that image with something that I know that we've done that aligns with what it's saying
Mhm.
and have our own imagery into it. And then if I want to change the copy, I can do that. And like previous to that experience, what I had to go into like something like Mid Journey or GPT or Claude and make an image if I wanted to make an image,
Mhm.
or I had to go into my archive of photos on my
Mhm.
phone or look at like our website or things that we posted about and pull an image. And then I had to take that image, put it into something like Adobe Illustrator, and then pick a font, that's on brand. And if you have your branding done, you already know your fonts.
Mhm.
You start typing your message onto it, and then you have to align it, and then maybe you put a gradient on there so that it like pops off the page so it reads as legible copy. And that would take me like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 20
That's a lot of
minutes,
work for one
15 minutes.
post, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can post that same post on different
Yep.
channels of social media, but it's still like it's finding tools and systems
Yeah.
that make those things easier,
And then you're going to do them.
and then you're
So
going to do
find
them.
good habits. Find
Then you don't
easy
have an
ways to do good
excuse,
habits.
right?
Right. No
No
excuses.
excuses.
Yep. So, and like, how much does Pomeli cost?
It's free.
It's free.
It's free,
Why is it
people.
free?
It might not always be free, but it's
Well, my
like
theory is
it's
right now Google is giving a lot of this away for free. Like they're spending billions of dollars buying out these companies and then giving away what those companies charge for free right now with a lot of this AI stuff.
Mhm.
But it's not free because
Oh,
what did I do? I just gave them data, right?
mhm. Yeah.
I showed them what I want to work on with that tool and I implemented it, and they tracked my usage through the app and what did I change and how is that improving the app, right? So they're almost using it as another, like it's everything's bumping together, right?
Mhm.
So we had image generation with AI and we had text generation with AI. And now all of a sudden we have, companies that got better at image generation, companies that got better at text generation. And now a big company like Google, Alphabet, is lumping the two together. And now we have good image generation with good copy being written for ad campaigns, right?
Mhm.
With direction and purpose.
Right.
So what's next, right? I don't know.
I don't
Like
know. Yeah.
there's so much happening that, if you're not paying attention to it, like you're gonna get left behind.
What?
And the businesses that are going to stick out in the AI age are the ones that are using AI right now. And sometimes I feel like I'm not as up on it as I need to be. And I learn about it every single day. Like I set aside time every day, like 2 hours, where I explore a new thing or
Mhm.
how can I use it, or I brainstorm. Shoot, I brainstorm with the AI on how to use the new AI.
Mhm.
And I did something yesterday where I had one AI working to tell me how to use the other AI because it was new. So I told it to learn everything about the new AI that I was using. And if I didn't understand something that was going, it was a lot of coding. I'm not a coder. If I didn't understand the code, I would screenshot what the one AI was doing and feed it to the other AI. And then that AI would be like, yeah, everything that you see here, it looks like it's going fine. And watch out for this if this happens. And I'm like, it's like hiring a coder,
Uh-huh.
engineer, software engineer to like
Yeah.
help you create something.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, I think part of that too is like it again, it's maybe not necessarily comfortable for everybody, you know, when you have something like that, like AI can be scary to people,
yeah.
overwhelming, but it's again, if if you aren't using it in some capacity, like it's going to
Wow.
be tough later because it is definitely something that's not going away. And
It can be threat to people. I think
I
that's the
get that.
biggest stigma around
I
it
get
is
that.
they're looking at it like it's going to take my job. Right?
But if
So,
you can implement it in your job and show that it can work with what you do versus
Mhm.
taking your job
Oh
away,
yeah,
I mean, that's you got to find the ways you got to find the ways that it can work for
yeah.
you, not against you.
It's going to amplify your productivity and make you more valuable as an
It's like
employee.
having an assistant that you don't pay very much money for.
Yeah,
Zero money. Some people pay a little bit because you might have the better upgraded version of it or
we
whatever, but
pay for some.
it's minimal, right? It's
We pay for
minimal.
some.
Like I definitely can't hire an assistant for what I pay for it,
Yeah,
like in the physical sense.
yeah.
So again, just using it to
Right.
your benefit.
But would I hire an assistant that knows a lot about AI and they can be a way more productive
Oh yeah,
assistant
for
than
sure.
somebody who doesn't know about the AI?
For
Like
sure.
that's the person that I would be looking
Yeah.
for in the next like 2 to 5 years,
In
right?
it
For
for
sure.
sure.
Can't get around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a little bit of a tangent there, but basically, you know, well, giving better customer experiences is a big deal. So refinement, small details, clear communication.
So this is a big deal to me. I feel like in our business, we both came from customer service background. For us, like a big reason we started our business was the customer experience.
Yeah,
Being able to provide the clear communication, the simple follow through, just taking the time, it matters
yeah,
and it's important. And I know as a customer, when I'm going somewhere or buying something, like if I get the warm fuzzies, I'm a lot more apt to say yes and it's an easier decision. Um, so having places around us that maybe don't do those things as well, um, that was key for us. And we want our customers to feel good about anything they're doing with us. Um,
yeah.
but that at the end of the day, that's what gives me immense satisfaction when it's a feel good experience for my customer.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to spend money on that communication. Like that's an expensive business. That's like heating your space.
Yeah. It goes
Like
back to the tools and the systems.
it's
Like
like paying for
we have a
electricity.
tool. We have a tool that helps us with some of those things because we're all human. We can only remember so many things. We can only be so organized. Um,
Oh,
you know,
if you've ever interacted with Got It Made through any of our sales processes, like we see everything that happens and we know everything that happens, but we don't have to like keep our finger on the pulse of everything that's
right.
happening because of the system that's set up for us.
Yeah.
Um, for instance, we can drop an appointment link to somebody and have them pick the time that they want to meet with us because our appointment link already knows where our appointments are in the day and it shows them the time slots. And that's fairly common in certain other like not that I have to do it anymore, but when you schedule haircuts, right? So a really good barbershop in town, they were one of the first ones that I actually experienced it with. And you go online, you pick your barber, you see their schedule, you pick your time, you schedule. Boom.
And guess what? You can still call them
Yeah.
and make an appointment. And I'm sure there are people who do that. They get phone calls when I'm getting my son's haircut,
Yeah.
whatever. And we still take phone calls. But we know that in this world, we need to, where we're at with technology, we need to give people options.
Yeah.
And you don't want to miss out on something because you didn't have that as an
Hey,
option.
you know where I'm at with it though? Like, guess how many times I called there for a hair appointment?
Never.
Never.
But I'm saying, like, you have to, like,
But
you
they
have
were
to.
catering to me. Right?
Correct.
I didn't like having to. Oh, I got to call them and
Yeah.
see. What
Right.
do you have available?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, that doesn't work for me. Yeah.
It was a struggle, right?
Sure.
So, um, better communication. We talk about it a lot is taking down the hurdles, right?
Yeah.
The resistance, like
Mhm.
get rid of the grit. There's so many things that happen in business where it's like, I want to help you, but right, like get rid of the but part
Mhm.
and already like you pretty much know what your customer needs every single time or what they want, right? So like if you can reduce those hurdles, or if there has to be a step that happens that a lot of customers want to skip, if you outline your process with better communication and say, like we did this yesterday, customer reached out and Devin was typing an email back to him and she was reading it to me. And I was like, well, what if we told him like what the expectation is for the rest of the process in this email? Like what other shop right now is saying Like, this is your next step. If you're comfortable with this and this looks good, the next step is this. And like a big deal in our industry is a deposit to start working on design, because what we do is one-off design for you. It's custom made, right? And a lot of people, like, we've had people in our shop before say like, I've never paid for design. A, I could tell.
There's
But
probably
like,
a reason for that.
B, like, you're not valuing my business. So how can I value your business with giving you the proper amount of time that your business deserves to design something that I know is going to give you the best return on your
Well,
investment?
and you came to me. So obviously not being a
Yeah.
design somewhere else didn't work for you because
Yeah.
you wouldn't be coming to me.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do it like everybody else does it. I can do it the way we do it.
Yeah.
And we
And
just
this is why it's better for you. Right.
yes.
And like that resistance of like, I have to pay something. If I don't tell a customer this is what the process is, when we get to that point, it's an awkward conversation. Like, about that money now, I kind of need some money because it's going to lock you in, right? Uh, to reduce that, we've just said like the design deposit goes towards your rep, and that way, if the idea changes during the design process, like, you're not locked in at a this is how much it's going to cost no matter what I design. We're going to design to the level of your budget, right? But if you decide you want it to be different, like, 9 times out of 10, the design doesn't cost more because we're doing more, right? The overall cost of the project might change, but your design deposit still goes towards it. And it's like, that protects you as a consumer coming to us. We're going to be invested in you. And that protects us because you're not going to take our design and go someplace else or whatever. Not that we have that happen, but that's why a lot of people in the industry end up doing it. Um, but giving people the outline steps and being able to kind of make it uh, expected or anticipated,
Mhm.
um, that style of communication is always the best as far as that goes. So
Well,
giving them a better
I think
customer
sometimes too
experience.
with like using a tool like that, people get a little nervous because, well, what I don't want it to sound like computers are, like we
Yeah,
get to personalize all of our stuff and
we do.
give it our voice. And so
Yeah,
it's like it's coming from God and made.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
robotic. It's not,
yeah.
we work on all those things in the beginning and so that it feels like
And
us.
some of the cooler things that happen for us is like when we've set up automations after a certain thing is there, it just triggers a follow up or a reminder or whatever it is. And I'll be sitting at my computer and somebody will just text the business and just be like, oh, yeah, I'll get on that today for you. And it's just a reminder like, you've got a proof for a design that we sent you and it just needs your approval. And I'm working on something else. I'm
Mhm.
not circling back to that yet at my point in my day. Like, we do that, but all of a sudden now I have customers getting back to me where I didn't have to take the physical energy to like go look it up, type them something, and then see what they say back. Right now, the system that is built for us is working for us, and then that's how we communicate better. So use all those tools for sure.
Yep.
Or if you don't have those tools, find a way to get into some of that. It's not terribly difficult. Um, so yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. Like, good ideas, they don't really necessarily have to be a flashy, shiny, brilliant idea.
Right.
Just something that's going to make things a little bit better as far as the communication goes. And then if you find something that works, what we found is it tends to like compound, right? Like, because you're doing one thing right, it leads to other things
Mhm.
happening that are right, and it reduces that
Yeah.
chaos that happens in
Yeah,
there.
you can see some clarity in your tunnel and then it's gonna, make you
Yeah,
want to keep going down that tunnel.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of a good way um, to describe it. And I think, hopefully this gives everybody a perspective on like what today is. Like, we talked about a lot of stuff that's happening today. This isn't one of those evergreen videos probably, because I'm going to watch it a year from now and go like, yeah, that didn't happen. Or I'm going to watch it and go like, well, that happened way more than I said it was going to happen, or way sooner than I said it was going
Mhm.
to happen. Right. So we can't predict the future, but be paying attention to those things that are going on right now, because that's what's going to be the thing that leads to the next. Right. So now, like, the next episode, I think I want to talk about the difference between being like a busy business, or being a strategic business, because I think sometimes we define making it as being
Busy.
busy. So the grind mentality, right? Like I work 24/7, 7 days a week, and I'm always whatever. Like you're busy, right? Um, but how strategic are you with how you're being busy? Like, uh, are we able to simplify our workflows and maybe be less busy but more productive? Right? Busy isn't always good.
Nope.
You can be real busy and not make any money.
Yeah. I think that's part of like, why we're here, why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've been busy before.
Yep.
But it's not necessarily productive busy. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. You feel that. That's how people get to that burnout
yeah,
phase.
that's where the stress comes from.
Yeah. So we'll hit on that next episode. So this was a
Okay.
good one though. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.